Okay, so in our last video on parallel lines, we had a look at taking a formula and figuring out what coordinates we're going to plot that line on, and you can see that there in blue. We also did a quick example of finding a parallel line, and as you can see right here and here, these two formulas are our parallel line formulas. So let's jump straight into basically a step-by-step talk through of what you're going to do to demonstrate a very clear, progressive method of actually finding that parallel formula. So let's jump over here. So, step one. The first thing you're going to do when you see this, when you get asked to find the formula for parallel lines, you're actually just going to rewrite the problem. And as you can see there, we've rewritten our original formula of y equals 2x plus 4, and we are done. So, step two. Now, this is to keep you on track with what you have to do in the following steps. And you are just going to write your formula. Write your formula. Boom. So y equals mx plus c. That's what we're going to do. Step three. So your first two steps are actually pretty quick. Okay? You should have a formula sheet with you, so identify that formula, write it down. The next step is to identify or just remember that parallel lines have the same gradient, and we remember the M letter to denote gradient. So drag that original gradient down. So copy original gradient value. So in our case, it was 2. So on our next line, that is the first thing we're going to do before we do anything else. Step 4. Now, in step 4, you're actually going to identify the x and the y values from your point. As you can see over there in our example, for 6, we've actually labeled the x value and the y value. That's because this helps this stage. So we are going to substitute our x and y values into the formula. And what we're left with, as you can see there, is our 6 equals 2, and then in brackets 4 plus c, because we want to find our new c value. Now, keep in mind, if you want to write 2 times 4, or your gradient times your x value, it still works. It's just that in maths, by default with algebra, we're always doing multiplication unless you're otherwise told. So, step 5, we're actually going to start to rearrange the formula to solve for c. Now, all that's telling us is that we are going to start to solve what we can and then cancel them out. Remember, what you do to one side of the equal sign, you have to do to the other. In this case, we've gone ahead and we've actually multiplied, as you can see there, we've multiplied 2 by 4 first to give us positive 8. And then after that, we've decided to subtract. So that's where we've gone with that. So let's... Okay. Step 6. Once you have the value of c, you're going to actually rewrite your original formula but substitute the new value for C. And that's what you end up getting right at the end there. Right here, as you can see, we rewrite our original formula here, but we change this section to be our new C value. And there you have it. That is your step-by-step 6 steps to identify the formula of a parallel line on a Cartesian plane. Because if you go then and use that formula, you use your formula like you did there, like we did here in our last example, you end up with a parallel line over there. So you can see we've got our blue line, that's our original one, and our green line, that's our new parallel line. Okay. If you had any questions, please write them down. Ask them in class. We want to be able to clarify as many misunderstandings in class as we can. So if you need to go back and rewatch this video, please do. And I'll see you in class.